Delay and tremolo are some of the oldest and most traditional effects that we've had available to us as guitar players. I guess ever since, some of the early Fender amps, we've had access to tremolo, and then I suppose tape machines were the first time we were able to manipulate delay to our advantage. And in the past, I guess 60 or even 70 years, delay and tremolo as effect categories have come a long way. Companies, in my opinion, either sitting in two ballparks. The first group trying to always nail those vintage tones and be true to those classic units. The second trying to push the boundaries of what delay, tremolo, reverb, you name it, can do. Companies that we've all heard of like Chase Bliss, but one that I'm becoming a really big fan of is Dreadbox. And Dreadbox have two new pedals out, the Treminator and the Raindrops. The Raindrops is a multi-mode, multi-layered delay pedal that can go from kind of analog-y modulated tones to pitch shifting craziness. We have, as I said, a multi-layered control scheme. We have the 4 controls and the switch up top that are sort of your traditional delay controls. And then we have a shift button that gives us access to another layer of controls. Things like gain on the repeats, low pass filter, and also a post feedback control, which we'll get onto in a second. The Treminator is the tremolo pedal, and it's based on the VCA from some synthesizers, a voltage control amplifier, I want to say. In its most basic form, it can be a simple tremolo pedal, but again, it has some of that synthy weirdness going on that I've come to expect from Dreadbox. We have loads of different shapes. We can ramp the tremolo. There's a lot going on with the Treminator, more so than the Raindrops, so we will start with the Raindrops. This is my clean tone. We're going using the Strat going into this little board with the Treminator and the Raindrops, going into an to be announced pedal board amplifier solution. This is the clean sound. And then the Raindrops, we have 3 main modes of this. We have a modulated delay, a pitch shift delay, and a delay and reverb. I'm going to go through a sound that I've made with all 3, the first being a modulated analog style delay. So we've got quite a short repeat. I've also turned up the gain of the repeats, which is a secondary control, and also turned up a low pass filter to roll off some of that high end. So as you can hear, when you really manipulate that gain on the feedback, the low pass filter and the modulation, you can achieve some really authentic, analog, crunchy, Memory Man, DM2 type tones. If we turn over to my next preset, this is my pitch shift delay preset that I had some time with. A few things going on here, as you'll see. Maybe it's best that I play it and then I explain what's going on. I don't always use kind of pitch shift delay and reverbs, but because there's so much going on there and it's so unique, I could really see myself using that in a songwriting environment. So what we have going on there is some pitch shifting fifths, basically, really utilizing that post feedback control. Essentially with this pedal you have two feedbacks, one before the effect, so in this case the pitch shift, and one after the pitch shift. So that means if I turn up the post feedback control, every time we get a new repeat, it is shifting up again that pitch shift tone. So for example, if I turn off that post feedback, in theory we should just get one pitch shift, so a fifth up. As you can hear, it only pitch shifts up once, but if I turn up that post feedback again, every time it repeats, it will shift up. Up until you can't hear it anymore. That's wild. I really enjoyed kind of discovering that by accident. Finally is the delay and reverb mode in one. Enjoyed this just for getting some bigger soundscapes. Obviously great for creating some ambient effects. I also found this is good for some soaring lead tones. So we're going to kick on a Boss DS2. Cover your ears. That's a very quick look at the Raindrops and three tones that I really like from it. Let's move over to the Treminator. Now, I've saved the Treminator to last because there's actually a lot going on here, and I'd be lying if I said I fully understood how it all comes together. And some of the tones that I've found from the Treminator, while they've been amazing, I've come across them by accident. So we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so one of the hidden features of the Treminator, or on the second layer of controls I should say, is a feature that I didn't think had much use until I tried it for myself. It is essentially an LFO Reset control, I suppose. When it's off, it works as a traditional tremolo, but when it is on, the LFO resets when you hit the guitar like an envelope. So what does that actually mean in practice? It means that if you set up like a slow ramping tremolo, like I suppose maybe like a Boss slow gear type of thing, like a swell in, usually you would have to time your playing with your tremolo speed. But with this LFO reset control on, in theory, it should reset every time you hit the guitar. So let's combine that with a bit of Raindrops after it and create some swelling ambient tones. Okay, so the next kind of feature of the Treminator that is the hardest to get your head around, I admit, is the envelope fade in, fade out control. Essentially all built around that middle fade knob, so you'll be able to set it up so when you hit the guitar there's no tremolo and it fades in, or vice versa, it fades out. Oh, I just found a really cool tone. Right, let's put on some gain. This is the small speaker overdrive. It's got almost that ring modulator-esqueness of it comes through when you really hit it hard. Let's put on the Raindrops. Let's go back to that pitch shift delay. One thing I do actually want to try out is we're going to have a similar sort of tone going on, but we're going to swap the two around in the order. So at the moment we have the tremolo going into the delay. So the delay is essentially repeating the tremoloed signal. But what happens if we tremolo the delayed signal? Let's give it a go. Interesting. Interesting to say the least. This way round, the delay into the tremolo feels a bit moodier. I don't know what it is about that. I guess the other way around, you're getting a bit more delicacy from the delay after the tremolo. This way, everything is affected by that tremolo, and it just feels grittier, it feels dirtier. So there you have it. If you get a chance to try out just one of these pedals, you're going to have a great time. If you get a chance to try out both, then you're having a really, really good time. Thanks guys for checking out the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and maybe check out some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.